Conroe's Community Radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That is Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Second Saturday Divorce Workshop provides unbiased information to help you understand your options and move forward with your life. This divorce workshop is for you if you are contemplating divorce, in the process of divorce, already filed for divorce, or post-divorce. You will explore the emotional, legal, and financial aspects of divorce from professionals who have guided others through divorce. For more information on this divorce workshop, contact secondsaturdaywoodlands.com or call 832-375-0900.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCCW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide at irlonestar.com. Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on the Cindy Cochran Show. Today it is live. Yes, live. Yeah. Yesterday we kicked off the homage to Elvis month. It's August. It's Elvis month. I don't know if Richard knows this, but it is. And all the...
When are you going to get over that?
It's been only since 1977.
Yeah, people are still talking about him.
That's right. That's right. Nobody will ever get over Elvis.
And no one tried to cancel him. I wonder why.
And no one ever tried to cancel him?
I guess he was a gentleman womanizer.
It was back in the day. He got in that window where it wasn't gonna. Nobody's gonna say anything about it. It's Elvis.
Yeah, but he didn't mistreat him. He was just a womanizer.
He
didn't hit people. He wasn't.
No, he didn't do outrageous things. He was a Southern gentleman.
Yeah, but he still did a lot of things.
Well, I'm
pretty sure he's a drug abuser.
They were under the
right.
Well, it was all from a doctor. You're supposed to,
That's still a drug abuser.
You always feel like, well, I got it from the script from the doctor, so that makes it okay, doesn't it? No, but he was, but he was just Elvis. And what's great is that the interviews that we have are from people who only want to remember, recall, and uplift his reputation. To say he was a good guy. He was a really generous guy, and a lot of people didn't even know all the good things that he had done. It's like with Don. He was so sweet to Don because he had lost his family, and he felt bad for him.
Yeah, he was a giver.
Yes,
in more ways than one.
He was, and he was a pleaser.
Yeah.
And he wanted to please everybody. So
cool.
Larry Geller comes on. Now, the interview that we played yesterday, we did in 2017, because he was one of the first ones that we interviewed that was an Elvis confidant. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to hear really the backstory, the behind the scenes of Elvis and what really went on. And Don set me up with a lot of these people that were really close friends of Elvis, and it was very, very cool. And I think we were one of the first interviews that Larry did. And Larry went on to do million interviews. In fact, if you look him up on YouTube or Facebook, Larry Geller, Geller, he has a lot of interviews since ours, and I couldn't find one that predated our interview, so maybe we were the very first. And Don would know that, and Don's watching, so I'm sure he'll text me later. But it was great. I mean, I enjoyed that interview, and he was so sweet. so nice. And we in the interview, and we're talking about Elvis's death, the day that he was buried, and that funeral and all that. And he said, I was called to do Elvis's hair, and they wanted me to come in and help with the, what he was going to wear and all that stuff. Now, it was going to be a closed casket, I think. That's what it ended up being, but the casket was open, and all of his family was there to say goodbye to him. And when Larry got there, when he first got there, he realized that Elvis had been on hiatus for a while, and so he hadn't been doing anything like, coloring his hair or anything like that. So he saw him, he went and saw him, and he had this shock of white hair, and he didn't know what he was going to do, because he said he was not going to let Elvis be buried like that. So he went around to the office area there and asked the girls, that they have mascara, black mascara. They gave him all this. They gave him all the mascara, and he went in there and he took it, and he, that's how he dyed his hair black, the white hair black. And he said, now he looked like Elvis. So the family says goodbye to him. They start to walk out, and they close the casket. And so Larry hung back, and he said, I was just determined. I wanted to be the last one to see him and say goodbye. So after they started wandering out, I went over and I picked up the casket, and I looked at him, and I told him goodbye. And I wasn't expecting that. And so I went, did anybody know that you did that? And he says, no, I didn't tell anybody. That's what I did. So I didn't know if that was an exclusive or not, but I don't know how many people knew that he had done that. But it was, that was a weird thing. But I thought it was a very cool interview. If you missed it, if you didn't know about it, it's you see the interview, and we were in the old studio.
Yeah.
And that looked good. And that camera made me look better than this camera makes me. So I blame
I think
it on
it's
the
the
camera.
lights in here.
Oh, okay.
We have those office lights in here, and they're terrible.
That's true.
And the other studio had natural sunlight.
It was.
Yeah.
It was all. You're right. It was natural sunlight from that big old glass pane there. That was fun, and we had all of what we were talking about was out there on the sidewalk for everybody to hear and to.
I think if we
enjoy.
did it out here for City Hall, first floor, people would kind of be like, "What are this? What are they doing?"
Couldn't we put it out on the sidewalk in front of City Hall?
Yeah, we could.
Say, y'all come on in. We'll let you be a guest. That's how we did there. I mean, I would see people, and I would just go out and say, the way they were looking around, they looked like they were tourists. And I said, are y'all just visiting? And they go, yeah. And I said, would you like to be on the radio? The radio? What do you mean? Yeah, we have a radio station right here, and it goes all through Montgomery County. And so all over the world, in fact, because it's on the internet. So if you've got family and friends somewhere, you want to call them, you're going to be on, and they'll be able to hear you. So they'd come in and go like, okay. I said, so what do you think of Conroe and all that? And it was just fun. It was spontaneous. It's like when I gave Mark Hader, who he and I used to do a show together, and I said, I was telling everybody that fruit tastes better when you eat it outside. It's just better. Fruit is better outside. And nobody went like, Cindy, that's, I don't believe you. I said, okay, Mark, I want you to. So I brought some fruit in, and I said, you take this and go across the street, and you eat it, and then you come back and report. He said, okay. So he went over there, he sat on the curb and started eating the fruit, and then he came back over, and he said, well, it might taste a little bit better. And have you ever noticed that? I thought I was going crazy because nobody said, oh, yeah, I know that. Yeah, you take a bite of an apple outside, and it's so good, and it's so different tasting. Did you ever notice that?
No,
Richard?
Cindy.
You haven't?
I haven't gotten to that point in my life where I try to have little bits of hope every day. And you're just, I need to pick me up. Today's a bad day. I'm gonna go grab this peach and go outside.
Go outside and just do it. Just try it. And
No, but
it's true.
I believe you. I mean, being outside's a lot better than being inside.
Yes, but
I mean, especially right now where it's like 105 degrees. It's great. I bet
Yeah.
fruit tastes delicious. outside.
delicious. I bet you take it straight out of the icebox. I mean, God created, like the Garden of Eden was outside, and,
But they didn't have any fruit in the garden besides the apple. That was the only fruit.
Oh, they couldn't eat it. That's right. Well,
Yeah. He didn't want to confuse them because if you say the forbidden fruit, they're like, there's so many of them. You're like, which one? So
Yeah.
all they have were vegetables. They're vegans.
it wasn't a balance of nature, was it? No, they had other fruit. There was other fruit.
We have no idea. We have no idea what they had. They had alligator.
But it was just this tree. The fruit that came from this tree. Don't eat it. Just don't eat that. That's all. That's all he said.
What happens if it fell off the tree naturally? And
Once it hit the ground?
Yeah, is it good?
No, I think you were supposed to eat that fruit. It was.
Yeah, see, I would be like, you don't tell me what to do.
Oh, yeah, that's what you tell God. That would
Yeah,
be great.
You don't tell me what to do.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna move.
So what
over a
else is
little
going
bit further.
on, Barbie? What's
Well,
going on?
Tomorrow,
Oh, we have Mark.
it's
we
really
have,
exciting.
We have
Kay and Mark Hader are going to be on. They did a show here called Hanging with the Haters.
Yeah.
But before that, Mark did a show with me, and it was the Mark and Cindy show for so many years. And then he.
I guarantee you, Mark still has that thought. Like, how did I get this wife?
How did I what?
Get the wife? How did I get Kay? Like, how did I score this? I bet he still
Yes.
asks himself that all the time.
You know he does.
I know he does.
When he gets here tomorrow, I think you need to say, Mark, how did you ever get Kay? You just need to say that to her. That would be great because I'm sure that has to be.
And Kay would be like, well, he was the only guy that could open the jar of pickles for me.
Okay, I think that could be it. Yeah,
I know some women really like that.
yeah, that's right. But Mark Hader has been around a long time. A lot of people love him, and Brianna Donahoe, who comes on our show once in a while, she was a student of his.
Yeah.
And when she found out that I was doing a show with Mark Hader, she was so excited because she said he was a great teacher, and Mark would tell me about the way he would teach. It would be fun to take history. I think he taught history. What history he taught? It wasn't math or anything or English. It was.
Well,
I think it was history. Yeah, it was history. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so he taught that, and she said he was a great teacher because he was so animated, so energetic, so And so we're just going to be on the show tomorrow. So you want to make sure you.
Well, that's the end of this show, right?
watch
We're already promoting tomorrow, so
No.
are we leaving or are we cutting
No,
out?
you just said what else is going on. I wanted to make sure I did not forget that because I already went right over and forgot about our sponsor, Chris Wootton, which I always supposed to start the show with that. Sorry, Chris. Chris was on just last week.
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, last Thursday he was on, and Sam, my husband, just loved that show. He said that was our best show.
Yeah, I had the best questions too. Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he said, and Richard really has some good questions. And I said, yeah, he's really.
I'm just so full of them.
So full.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Where do babies come from, Cindy?
You ask me anything,
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Now,
We should remind the audience that they can ask you anything on Facebook or YouTube because I am monitoring it.
Yeah, this is the name of the show. Ask Me Anything. Our sponsor is Chris Wootton, the Wootton Financial Group, and they can take care of you for your retirement or for just getting started. Now, see that was so good that you asked about
The birds and the bees.
No, that you ask him about. How
I should ask
people
Chris
get
that next time he comes on.
No, let me finish a sentence. I said it's so good that you ask about if you were getting a divorce, that could you pay him extra money to make sure if she wanted you to use him as her financial
that's the way.
planner.
Well, you always got to win the game.
Yes.
Okay, that's the only reason we're here is to play the game, and you got to win. So
I want to have those people on from Cornell, who only deal with men getting a divorce, and they just.
I told you a while back we had a show called Planning for Win, very similar to what Chris does. And on the side, I was because I like to vet all the hosts, and I was like, so what do you do for fun? What's going on with you? And he hosted the second Saturday meetings with men who've gotten divorced who have kids or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's really surprising to me that there's help groups for that. Because I guess they had so many murders, like the dads were just like pissed off. I don't.
Well, it's like if a woman dies, then it's
No, I think that, like they were talking about like literally. I gotta look it up because you might be right. Like the wife died and they're trying to figure out how to like.
and the men are always accused, or they look at the men as being the person that did it, especially if it was a weird type of death.
Yeah.
What are you? Oh, I thought you had. Okay. Yeah. Whenever.
I just want to know what it's for. I'm just trying to make sure.
Well, if anybody knows anybody at Cordell, tell them I'm looking for them to come. I've called and left a message. I'm sure they maybe not understood what I was after, but I wanted them to come on and talk about why they would start an office like this, a company like this, where you only service men only.
Okay, I found it.
Okay, what does it say?
It is called secondsaturday.com, and together we're changing what it means to divorce in America. That's strong. But yeah, I think it's actually. I don't think it's just for men. I think it's for anybody. But I think
Cordell?
No, this is Second Saturday. The thing I was telling you about.
Oh, okay. That's the name of the
So it's a workshop.
Second Saturday.
It's a workshop.
Okay. That's a good thing to promote. They should come on and promote that.
Well, you have a phone.
Well,
I can't do everything for you, Cindy.
but if you call, it just be so much more powerful.
Well, it's because I'm a better liar.
You think I'm going to disagree with you?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's all agreed every day.
Okay.
But yeah. This is weird. It's like, welcome to Second Saturday. What everyone needs to know about divorce. It's a critically acclaimed workshop.
Well.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's
happening.
financial based. It's supposed to help you get through your non-biased financial, emotional, and legal advice. So it's actually like a legal stuff. Okay.
But do you think that more people are getting married, or less people are getting married, and they're just living together?
Well, I think personally, people are seeing marriage almost like an occupation, like a job. And then, like, so when you quit a job, you get a severance package or whatever, or you get fired, or
Right.
you know what I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah.
there's expectation levels to it. But it's like, but now it's become normal. So normal, there's set expectations. So everyone, like I was telling you, with mine, the set expectation was I get to keep the rings, and I'm like, well, they're heirlooms.
Yes.
That's not very nice, but you do what you want. And then eventually they're like, oh, you can have the rings back. And so I was like, see, that I don't think that's the norm. Like the norm is I get to keep the rings, like without any discussion.
The woman always did because they were bought for her, but these were heirlooms, so she could
Does
have
that make
them.
sense, though?
No, of course. But I think she expected to have them like always until she died, and then you could give them to someone,
That's weird.
She should will them to someone down the line,
After the divorce?
Well, no, if y'all had children or something like that.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
talking about if y'all are still married and she's, on deathbed or something.
Yeah,
like
I understand. Well, that's the whole point of heirlooms.
That. Well, yeah.
I mean,
so she needs to
regardless
give
if
it
it's
to
a ring
somebody.
or not.
Because that would just be so cold if she just kept them and sold them. Or
I don't know. Oh no, I meant more. Well, I'm talking about you're saying like, or you think more people are getting married and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I see people looking at it more as like an addition to your portfolio.
Mm-hmm. That's.
Well, especially with today's medical, like I'm going to do this. I'm going to go for it. All right.
Okay.
I'm putting my feet in the shoes of a woman. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm just going to assume a lot. So I apologize to all women out there.
Okay.
But I think with the medical field and the advances in science comes the projection of that you have to have children. and you have to have children, like the biological clock is more in front of women's faces than ever.
You think
because it's
society is pressuring you to do that?
Oh, for women, regardless of marriage. But a lot of women, I imagine, saying, I can't do this alone, I need to have a mate, which is normal. That's how we were born, you know. But I'm saying, like, in today's world, you're on TikTok all the time or whatever, and it's like, look how happy this family is. I want a family, da-da-da-da-da. And that's what, like, it throws you in that trajectory of, like, you need to have a kid before you're 40. Like, no matter what.
Okay, but if you're looking at TikTok.
Well, hey, I'm talking about, like, 18-year-olds today.
Okay, I was going to say TikTok.
I'm not talking about you, Cindy. There's nothing in the science world that could help you now, Cindy. Or would you? Let's ask you that, Cindy. Would you have a baby right now? Because you had what, 3, 2, 5?
5. I feel like I have. No, my grandchildren. No, I have.
You gave birth to.
Yeah.
How many did you give birth to? Wasn't it 3?
3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So would you do that today?
See,
like right now, they're like, if someone goes, "Hey, we can actually, you're 70, you're 74."
Yes.
And someone says, "Hey, we have this operation or this pill, and you're able to give birth today. Would you do it?"
I'm trying real hard not to. I don't cuss.
Okay.
I'm
No,
say
I'm
a bad word.
Well, no, because you know what is it like? Al Pacino just had it, or Robert De Niro
Yes,
just had a kid.
yes.
So it's like clearly men have no problem with it.
Of course not. They're so
So-
egotistical.
But
Oh my
I
God.
know, but if it was flipped,
Yeah.
would women still do it?
If they didn't, well,
Because that's kind of a thing in our societies. They put that biological clock pressure
it
on
is.
women.
No, it's
But
not.
now women are getting older and older and having kids. So
That's
like,
not. No,
what-
that's
okay, I
it's
gotta
a
look at this.
biological clock. Okay.
I know, but science is.
Nobody's
pushing
pressuring
it.
No.
Oh,
Nobody's
you don't
pressuring.
think?
I think your friends, your girlfriends that get married and they have a baby and they go, "Oh, don't you want a baby? You got to have a baby." And so that may push you. Go into a shower.
I know,
the
but-
baby shower may push you.
But it pushes them to get married and have kids, regardless of, oh, I want to focus on a career or fall in love. It's like, I got to have a baby.
I was like 20, and
Oh, whoa.
I had to have that.
Look at this. Oh, my gosh.
I had to have that baby.
So the oldest woman
How old?
living who gave birth, how old do you think it how do you,
I think she was 55.
she gave birth to twins.
How
Guess
old?
guess how old? You said 55?
55. Yeah.
73.
Last year.
So you're right there. Yeah, you could have had that last year, Cindy.
Oh my word. That's
She was reportedly.
Oh,
this was
man.
in 2019. This is on USA Today, so I don't know if it. Oh man.
believe it.
Oh, okay. Well, here's another one. Last year, 2 years ago, the woman was 57. So there's that. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
that's just crazy. 74
65, 66. I'm like
having twins.
66, 66. Oh my gosh.
And she raised them for how many years?
I don't know.
That's
That
what
is
I'd
nuts.
want to know, like, the rest of that
68,
story.
70. She was 7. This woman was 70, 70, 72, and the oldest is 74.
So she was still having periods at 74.
I mean, now you just made it gross talk. No, I'm just kidding. No,
well, you gotta have that to have the other. So it's
So let's
it's all
ask Cindy.
science.
Let's ask Cindy anything. That's what I just did. Would you still have a baby today?
Absolutely not. I think I've given my 3 the amount I need to get the
hold on.
world.
We got some chatters. Okay, so we're gonna go back. Someone wrote, "What is your favorite Elvis song?" And don't take too long. We got other questions.
Wait a minute.
Like, hurry up. Just what's on the top of your head?
Love me tender.
Love Me Tender. There you go. And then we have another user, Misty. She asked.
But wait,
Or-
Can I go back? Just let me go back. The bear. The
So you already said
teddy
it.
bear.
I
Teddy
told
bear.
you not to
Okay,
take
it was
so
teddy
long.
bear. All right, I'm sorry. It's teddy bear because that's the one that I lip synced at a Saturday morning kids show at the movie theater, and I got up and lip synced that. And this little boy came up to me and says, "You know, you're a girl, right?" And I went, "Yeah." She says, "Well, why do you have that voice?" I said, that wasn't my voice. That was Elvis Presley's voice. Anyway, so that's my
Great
favorite
story.
song.
One user said marriage has become a status symbol instead of a commitment. So there you go.
Well,
Or tax break.
no, not to, but I don't think to
That's why I
everybody's
got
that
married.
way. No.
Tax break.
So, no, because you fell in love with her. You fell really
Yeah.
hard for her.
So hard.
Yeah. That you broke. You broke.
No, okay. Any other questions out there? What other things you got going on, Cindy?
Well, just ask me. Go ahead, ask me. So, my daughter, her children were asking how you have a baby. They were asking her that. We were sitting in the living room. They said, "Well, how do you get a baby? Like, how do you get a baby inside of you?" And so she said, I'm not gonna say that. Grandma, will you tell them?
You okay? Imagine this.
I told them.
Cindy, imagine
Sorry,
it's like the 1600s,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're growing up. You're a young girl, and you pretty much there's not like organized education during that time, right?
No.
And
Not for girls.
Not for, well, yeah, especially not women. But you only have the word of like your mom telling you what it's like giving birth, so you have no idea. And then all of a sudden, you're like 14, being passed on to like, sold to some dude, and then you're pregnant at 15 and giving birth, and you have no idea what's
getting ready to
going.
come out of
What's
you.
going on?
Why am I getting
Wouldn't that
fat?
be wild? It's
Why am I getting
Well, not even
fat?
that, like the pain. Like that's one thing that's crazy to me.
pain.
You're like,
That's what
So, yeah.
would kill them. Oh, when they said that they could.
but like
could
in today's
deaden
world,
you.
you get it. Like everyone in today's world, like you're pretty educated on the fact that
Sure.
like, it's gonna hurt. This is what happens.
Sure.
And,
But-
and plus, we have hospitals that help you guide through the process.
Right.
But back then, all you had to do was your mother,
The
and your-
midwife, and you have a midwife.
and maybe.
Yeah, surely.
And your mother's already destroyed by her abusive dad, your abusive dad over here, who's like always in the field, and she's not going to tell you squat. She's just going to be like, you need to be a good woman.
Yeah, you just do it, whether it's maybe not be
And
enjoyable.
the only
you may not like it.
The
but
only
just-
happiness you'll find
to
in
do it.
life is to go outside and eat a piece of fruit. That's the only happiness you'll ever have.
Go ahead, you laugh, but
That's the
it's the
only-
truth. If you just try it, just go.
Everything else is terrible.
It will bring you such joy. You won't believe it. But I think that it's so sad because of how women were treated for a long time. And, when Jesus came, Jesus showed people that the woman should not be seen as a cattle, and like...
Cattle.
Well, that's how they treated women at that point. You could buy a woman. You could, you want to
You
trade
could also
this
buy
woman
guys.
for this.
You could also buy people in general.
That's right. But women were not.
So it's not mutually exclusive to women.
But women were not looked at as anybody intelligent or whatever. And so it wasn't something that a
I
woman
don't know
could do
about that.
unless they were in a royal family and they could become a queen or things like that. But I'm talking about.
Wasn't like William Shakespeare? He wrote a bunch of love stuff, and his plays valued women.
His plays were about women.
Yeah, they valued women in his plays,
I don't
even though they
know.
couldn't be played by women. But like
Yeah,
the way
that's
he
right.
wrote about women parts.
Isn't that interesting that the parts of women or somebody had to be feminine?
that
they
whole,
had to
that
use a
whole
man.
world was interesting. It was wild.
Yeah, it was wild. But I love the time that we're living in right now.
Yeah, because everyone has a right to education.
That's right. Everybody has a right to education and to your freedom of religion.
Well, not really a right. I hate when people say it like that. You have a right. I'm like, no, I can just do it. I don't need to like be told what my rights are.
Well, I think
You know,
when
people say that.
yes, but
It's
when
like,
people
I
say
don't
it's
think
a
people-
God-given right
Yeah, I'm
for
like,
you to,
they're like water's a God-given right. I'm like, what? Like, just water. Like, just take it.
no, that's not true. I mean,
Well, it's like
everything-
no, it's like the people today arguing like when they go to places, they think it's in their minds like, oh, everyone should be able to serve tap water. Mm-hmm. But not every. I don't think every state has that law where like you have to offer water for free.
Well,
But everyone in their mind
Especially
thinks it's like a
now,
right. It's like I can go to Starbucks and just get a water. I don't have to pay for anything. They
Yeah.
just give me a cup and water.
I don't know if that they'd give it to you for free. I think they charge you for the cup, and they
Well, I don't
have
know.
to
I
pay
just know
for that cup.
But I'm saying people's expectations are that.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they expect, I can just at least get a water.
Imagine people that would come up to the back.
That's why I feel so cheap when I'm going to Whataburger and I'm like, all I want to drink is water. I don't really drink soda. When you brought me a
Right.
soda, I was like, that's nice, but that's like my soda for the week.
Okay.
But I always get water, and I always remember my mom getting mad. She's like, "We're paying for the soda. You should get a soda." I'm like, "No, I don't want to drink a soda right now. I don't like soda that
well,
much."
she didn't realize it. You were trying to do the best for your body.
Well, no, in
That's
her mind,
good.
she's paying for it.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Hey, I paid for it. You better eat everything on that plate, and that includes the drink." True story.
That's so cute. Your mom's so cute. I'd love to sit and talk to your mom and just, because your dad I've talked to, many
lot of times, yeah.
but your mom really not as much. I talked to your grandma. Your grandma was a trip. I loved talking
Yeah,
to your
she's
grandma.
definitely, when you talk to her, you're in a time period.
Yes,
That's for sure. That's the
yes.
nicest way I could put it.
No, what I loved is that I could say things to her and she says, "Oh, I remember that."
Yeah. She remembers everything.
You don't. I mean, you were talking about the other day the vast difference in our age, and I was telling Mark Hader about when he's going to come on. I said, "I'm so excited to have y'all on because I can say you remember da da, and you remember it, but Richard doesn't remember all that stuff. It's like
You remember mothballs?
but you
We used
but
to use a.
the only good thing is because you had older brothers and sisters that
Yeah.
maybe that's why you remembered certain things, but your oldest sibling is how old?
50, like 2? Or, yeah, I think so. I don't really know. To be honest, I could be totally wrong. He'd be like 48.
He's 48.
He's just older. I just know he's just a lot older than I am.
Yeah. I see, Chad's in his 50s. That's so weird. I mean, I can't.
No, what's weird is Robert De
believe.
Niro having a baby.
Yeah.
That's what's weird. And that dude's like 80-something.
Being a great grandfather.
Imagine being
as a father.
Imagine being 74 and giving birth to twins, Cindy.
No, no.
So there you go. So we have we have more questions.
Okay.
What do you think the best part of Conroe for people moving here? What do you think is the best part of Conroe for people moving here?
Because you feel safe.
Really? You feel safe here?
Yes, I feel really safe in here.
Is that because
I've
everyone's
met-
carrying a gun, or
No, it's because I've met a lot of the police officers and firemen. We had to shoot the training of firemen and stuff like that. And so I've videotaped and interviewed so many different people here in Conroe and Montgomery County that I really feel like these people would do anything for you. They would
Yeah.
risk their life for you. This is what they're all about. And they don't think a thing of it. They're here to help people. Now, of course, there's going to be slugs and everything, but this is the majority of people that I have interviewed and talked to. It's great. They want the best for you, and they want to keep you safe. And that song that came out, "Don't Try That in Small Town" or whatever it's
Oh
called.
my gosh, I haven't even heard of it. I haven't even heard the song. I don't really.
Why haven't you listened to it? It's
This is
great.
Jason Aldean. Who really cares?
You don't like it? You don't like him? Oh, I can't believe.
I could give or take. It's like leave it. I don't care.
But it's the words of that song is so smart. He was just brilliant in how he put it, because it's true. It's more difficult to get away with the stuff the kids at Baltimore and all the different places that having riots and things like that and crime and all the crime that's going on. It's ridiculous. Did you hear the story about the ship that was coming in to dock? It was like one of these luxury liners, and this boat was in the way and it wouldn't move, and so it started this altercation with the owner of this boat, and then the people that were on the boat, they were jumping off and swimming up to getting up there and yelling at this guy to get out of their way, and people. It just created one of those mob fights. Everybody started getting mad at each other and fighting, and it's that kind of mentality that happens because of such a soft on crime, and people are.
Wow,
don't
you really
care.
went for the big picture there.
It-
That's a big jump. Oh,
From what? From what to what?
I like the boat, and I'd just run him over. That would have been a heck of a video. But like, this guy tried to block this cruise liner.
Well, they could, and that cruise liner could have just shoved it and just imagine it would have taken it and smashed it all the way up against the, where you park your boats, and it'd be perfect. That they should have done that instead of everybody fighting. They just had this big brawl. It's just people are. I don't know whether it's because of the weather or people are so
Fair enough.
mad
I get
about
you. I get you.
everything. They're just mad about everything. They want to take it out on somebody. So if you're sitting there or looking,
Wait,
like
so
you-
there's a
you
follow-up
deserve
question
it.
to
Oh,
your
what?
to your rambling.
Shut up.
Do you think Conroe is a small town, being the size that it is and so close to the Houston metropolis?
Do I?
Do you think Conroe is a small town?
Yes, I think of it as a small town.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's
Compared to
medium.
Houston.
I think it's a medium size.
I lived
Small
in-
town to me is like 2,500 people or less.
No, I lived in Houston
have like
for a long
90,000
time.
people
Coming to
here.
Conroe is a small town, and then I live in.
How do you think this is a small town? We have like
Willis.
6 HEBs. Like, how is that a small town? Like, a small town to me is like one grocery store.
It's well, I don't even kind of
Like where my brother lives over east of Cleveland, he doesn't even have a grocery store. He has like a gas station that has eggs. Like, that's where his nearest grocery store is. But then if he wants to go to the grocery store, he goes to Walmart, which is like a 30-something minute drive, 40-minute drive.
Well, I just say comparatively speaking.
So
and-
that's a
and
small
my
town when your
comparison-
corner store is the one that sells you the eggs.
Okay, don't even consider that that's like you drive through and you blink and that's
Well,
it's
that's a
gone.
small town.
Well, it isn't to me. Is it incorporated? Is it have a city council? Does it have different things that you expect in even in a small town?
Well, I mean, the Woodlands doesn't have any of that kind of stuff. They have a township. But it's
No,
not,
township.
It's not a town.
Yeah. How would you like to live like that?
Well, those people are, I consider them, what do you want to say, that they live in a commune over there. Living in a commune.
The Woodlands has gotten so big because I live there, and I'm not saying anything bad about the Woodlands. I'm just like the Woodlands served its purpose, and then it started getting too many people, too much construction, and George
I think,
Mitchell.
their main issue is they can't go north and south. They can only go east to west
That's
with
right.
their growth. So it's just like it's going to turn into just one long road. And it's
That's
just gonna be
right.
busy.
That's what- but it's George Mitchell did not mean it to happen like that. He just did not want Houston to incorporate it. That was his biggest fear of everything, is that Houston would come along and want to take all the things that he had done for the Woodlands and what attracted people to the Woodlands and not be part of that. But
also Houston's a weird town because if you visit other large cities, Houston's unique in the fact that like it just absorbs things constantly. So like the idea of Houston has changed drastically from Houston, in the 70s.
right, that's right.
But if you go to New York's kind of like they still have the same 5 boroughs, or what you want to call it. Like they're not growing. It's just like that's the
no,
history
they're
of New York
losing
City.
people right and
But
left.
like, well,
come
okay,
here.
here we go. But Houston's different. Houston will like constantly keep growing, and it's like, it's like they're joining the club every 10 years. We got a new club member. It used to be Pasadena, but now it's Houston. Like, it's just what Houston does.
But it scares people because they don't want to be part of Houston. It's just the metropolis of Houston is just too big, and there's too much scandal. There's too many things that go wrong, and it scares people. And it scares because it's like in New York. I was so mad when I heard what they were going to do with the immigrants. Have you heard this?
you never know what they're gonna do.
No, they're already started. They have got these.
Are they gonna start selling them?
No, not yet. But they have this one big ball field, and it's a small community of part of New York, and he's going to take all the immigrants and put them on these fields and the playgrounds and stuff. They're going to be used to house the immigrants.
So this is
And
when
they're
like
taking
you're like an indie filmmaker, and you're like, oh, I'll make a disaster movie, and it's like, oh, they have all these people sleeping on cots. This is a
Yeah.
great scene. You have all these people in the background, like, what are they filming?
What? I don't understand what
What do you
this guy's
care?
thinking.
What do
because
you care?
because all the kids that used to play soccer there won't be able to play soccer there.
No, I get
the kids
it.
that played, and the elderly people that came, and they
Well,
had
no. I mean, if you think about it, they just don't want to say you can't be here. They just don't want. They will never say that. So they're figuring it out. Why you give them a hard time? At least they're sticking to their principles. Unlike you're like, oh, we should just go, take them out back.
the immigrants.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
The immigrants.
That's what you're saying.
Let
That's
them-
what he says in that Jason Aldean song. Not my small town.
Yeah, that's right. You're not
We
going to
just
come to our
murder
small
everybody.
town. Because
Well, that's what they like. I love the homeless solutions people have. That's that's got to be one of the coolest.
what is your homeless solution?
No, I'm talking about like how the country handles homelessness is very different from everybody. And I bet that'd be an interesting study because I always question why the Woodlands doesn't really have any homeless people, but they always have all the money. So usually there's services and stuff like that available if there's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I was like, I bet you anything they literally have a rule, an unspoken rule. If there was like a homeless person there, they like the police come pick them up and say, hey, we're going to drop you off and give you some food, but they drop them off at Conroe or something like that. So but,
No, in fact, this Saturday, if you want to go to Lewis Park and help feed the homeless, you can do that. There's always ways to help the homeless people, and there are a lot of people that are homeless that have decided they want to be homeless because they don't want to.
yeah, but it's one of those.
And so
it's
they
one of those
live out
discussions you're never going to win.
They
So
go
it's
into the
just kinda like,
forest. That's what so many people in like.
oh, I know
veterans-
about the forest people. I know
Yes.
about that.
And that was, I didn't realize there were so many of them and how well
You never
organized
know.
they are.
Just like cockroaches, you just never
No.
know.
No,
right?
so-
Is that what you're telling me? I think
No.
I think that's another lyric in that song.
No, we went. No, it is not either. But we went and videotaped and interviewed these people out there and asked them about, is this where you want to be, or you feel happy, safe here? And my the guy that was shooting the stuff said, "Okay, Cindy, I think we did just about enough," because he could see that people were aggravated that we were there asking questions and thinking we were. And I thought we would bring attention to this and help somebody, but they didn't want attention. They didn't want anybody
Yeah,
coming in
why
there
would I
telling
want you
them.
bothering me?
Yeah.
You have one of those faces.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's coming over here to bother me. Oh,
Yeah,
great. Oh, she's got a microphone. Oh,
She's
my
got a
God.
microphone. They're going to ask
You
questions.
should go over there and just be like, what? You look, Coke or Pepsi? Those are the questions you should ask them.
That is
Don't even mention that they're homeless.
okay, Richard.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke
Burger
or Pepsi.
King or McDonald's?
Yeah, which one do you like better? It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll go get you something.
No, you're not supposed to mention that they don't have anything.
Oh,
You're just asking them their opinion on Coke or Pepsi.
Coke or Pepsi. Okay. Well, I was okay.
Come on now.
I think that.
And then you give them, a bottle of liquor.
But have you driven to Houston lately?
Oh yeah, I was in Houston. I want to say, I think it was like 3 months ago, and I was with one of my buddies. We're visiting one of his friends, and it was in the downtown area. It was like inside the loop, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get some cigarettes. You want to walk with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I would didn't even think of it. And the corner store was only like 2 or 3 blocks away. And we get there, and it's one of those corner stores that it locks its doors probably at night, and it has like a kiosk kind of thing, where they slide things out. And I kid you not, there's like 7 homeless people sleeping like under the kiosk.
Oh.
And I was really awkward because I was like, he opens it and he like literally, if you look down as you're grabbing the cigarettes, you're like, oh, there's like 2 dudes there.
You gonna give me one?
That's what.
That would be scary.
Yeah.
No, by Minute Maid Park, under the freeways,
Yeah.
that where all the spaghetti bowl is and stuff. It was I couldn't believe how packed that was with homeless people, and the tents. And did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, there's especially at Richmond and 59. Is it 59? The exit for Richmond right there. That was really bad. That's a really bad part of Houston. I always felt bad for that Shipley's right there, because that Shipley's
Yes.
was always popular, but like it was like people were on drugs all the time there,
Yes.
and
That is so. You're
my,
right.
one of
that's
my
so
favorite
scary.
things about that area is I remember going over there and they had all these really neat parks, but all the parks, I kid you not, were fenced and closed. And I was like, every time I go over there, like, what's the point of having a park here if you're just gonna fence it? And like when are they open? When is it ever open? Mm-hmm. And I was like, why don't you just destroy the park? Just get rid of the park if you're never gonna open it.
That's.
I don't know if you know where I'm talking about. That area right there.
If you're talking about
59 in Richmond.
the
Exmouth
bio,
for Richmond.
is it near the Houston?
It's near the Montrose area.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean,
But yeah, there was like 3 or 4 parks in that area that I guess they had so many problems with homeless people like sleeping on benches and doing drugs.
Right.
That they fenced it, but like they didn't have someone that comes in like every day and opens and closes it. Like it's just closed all the time. Like it literally says park closed, indefinitely. I'm like, why even put a fence up? Why just destroy it? Like just take out the benches. Just I guess they don't want anyone sleeping there no matter what.
No matter
because
what.
of property values. I think the old Sears was right there, and
with those.
I think that's where the
Sears.
old school Sears
Yeah.
was. But yeah, I think that's why they put the fence up. It's like we don't want to destroy the property value, so we don't want to use it, but we don't want to destroy the property
Right.
value. So we got to put a fence around all these cool parks. But the Shipley's is good. You got some guy yelling at people.
That's been there a long time.
Yeah.
If we had that problem in Conroe, I don't think it would last long.
Well, you remember when we first started the studio, there was
Right.
there was an issue, but that was also I call the Bermuda Triangle of help.
What do you mean?
Well, not really Bermuda. It's because there was a system the homeless folks worked,
Right.
because they could go to the Chop House, eat for free, and then they had the Salvation Army, which is like 3 blocks away. They could sleep,
Right.
and then there wasn't any rules for them loitering, so they could stay in the park all day, and then they
Right.
could go back to the Chop House. That's why everyone's finding poo-poo in the alleyways and stuff, because like there was just so many people just hanging out, and they didn't really have to go anywhere.
Right.
Because they could eat for free and walk 3 blocks to sleep.
And they work the system.
And that was like, there was like like, I don't know how to put it, but there was a system. And they broke the system by convincing Chop House to move. And now they have that great facility to actually, Luke's doing great stuff look up Compassion United if you want to look up,
Right.
like, he's actually trying to figure out a solution to help people.
Luke
he came
is
in.
amazing.
He came in like 2 months ago, and he was talking about I think there's 3 phases to the park, or not the park, like the compound. Mm-hmm. I call it the compound, but like he's got a bunk room section, so like people who can immediately find a bed. But then he has like a long-term stay if like you really have problems,
Right.
and then he's gonna have like washer and dryer, showers, and all that kind of stuff. So and it's a program. It's not just like, we have kind of like Salvation Army wasn't really a program. It was just kind of like, we have beds. We don't care who you are. Just
Right.
sleep and get out of here by 7 a.m.
That's right. And you get something.
And here's
to
an
eat.
apple.
Yeah.
You know.
No, they did. more
Yeah,
than
that's
that.
like it. I mean, I think they had services available, but they weren't forcing people to do stuff. Like I think at Compassion United, like they're kind of like, yeah, if you're gonna be staying here, you're
gonna do something.
You're gonna do something to better yourself.
See, that's what I think is great. That's wonderful.
But yeah, I always tell Luke, I'm like, thank God you're gone. Get rid of all those homeless people
Yeah,
sleeping on my bench.
that's right.
That's where I want to drink my coffee, and I got some dude.
Yeah.
Actually, I found a video the other day at the old studio. Is this guy, I don't know, he's on drugs or something, but he's like outside with the music playing, and his arms are like this. He's just doing this little number. Just going back and forth for a good like three songs.
I think I remember that guy.
And I was very entertaining. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. But
He was happy. He was like always happy. A big smile on his
well,
face.
it's because drugs make people happy, Cindy. You didn't know that?
It's just when they start coming down and they get angry in that phase.
Well, that's why you need to take more drugs.
And you give them more drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. The catch-22 on that. Oh boy, we are so full of information and
You know,
and this-
talk about the homeless people. Did you see that recently? That person getting sued by the city of Houston for feeding the homeless. I think it was an organization, and apparently you're not supposed to like just feed homeless people. You have to have like a permit to do it.
Yes.
And
yes.
so the city's coming back and like counter suing or something.
Isn't that the dumbest thing?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, can you think of the courtroom and that one person is just kind of like, what are we doing here? Like,
yeah.
Like, do we?
They
and
were
again,
trying to
see,
feed
this
him?
is my position on it. It's like you either commit to or not. Like you either don't like the homeless people and you do something about it, or you do like the homeless people and you do something about it. Instead of just like doing what the Salvation Army does, where it's like, yeah, you can only stay here between the times of 8 p.m. and 7 a.m., but after 7 a.m., you're out. Like, you can't be here. You know, they kick them out.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know, and like whenever any city, one of the big cities are going to have any kind of convention, or, you know, like the Democratic people are convention is going to be there, the Republican convention is going to be there, and they clean everything off. They actually clean everything.
yeah, they
up.
do that for like the All-Star games and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
remember that happened all the time in Houston, like the Turner City or whatever it was called. They came down there, and I think they even had leaf blowers. Like, I want to say that was like, I think I saw that, like, where they went in there and they kind of told everybody like, hey, we're going to move you. And then, like, the day they started moving people, they just had a leaf blowers just.
So sad. It's sad.
It's chaotic, is what it is.
But I'll tell you who I admire so much in the Conroe, especially in the Conroe, Willis, Montgomery County area, is our police force and our firefighters and all of our first
cool.
responders. They're very cool. Just imagine you wake up every day and you don't have no idea what you're getting ready to run into. It could be, you know, just a horrible sight. It could be really scary.
I mean,
it's always dangerous.
How often do they come to your house then?
Well, they've been there a few times.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's terrible.
That's not just.
She's a hoarder.
No. No, I'm not. And I've been so good about not doing that. No.
Hey,
No, I don't hoard. I throw things away, and Sam goes, those were our wedding pictures. And I'm, oh, yeah, I forgot. I don't hoard. I don't keep stuff. I just don't like to do that. But anyway, I want to say thank you so much, Don, for helping me with the people that we're going to be having and the interviews we're going to be having with the Elvis group. And also tomorrow, you've got to be here for Mark Hader and Kay Hader, because they're no one to hate, especially not to hate. But hanging with the haters is what we're going to do tomorrow. And
don't forget the people who wrote in. Thank you for.
Oh, thanks for asking questions.
We got Misty, and what I'll do, because Cindy doesn't have this in front of her.
No.
And I got to keep her in line. So I'm going to pass on the questions to her.
It scares me because I don't know if he's making up the questions or
not.
they really happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do that. We appreciate you so much. And what's their names?
Misty and Andrew.
Mitzi and Andrew. Andrew, how you doing, Andrew? And
all right, see you later. Bye.
Dennis O'Connor. Oh,
Bye.
I gotta go. Bye. See ya.
Every week, people ask the same two questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these two questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, one-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process in helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of their representatives.
From the beginning, the main purpose of the Cooperative